Sint Maarten should make structural improvements in its financial management that ultimately results in an unqualified auditor's certificate on the annual report. We had a very productive meeting with the Council of Ministers, in which we agreed that for 2021 an unqualified opinion should be obtained. So this will be in 2022. This, however, will require cooperation and commitment of all concerned. After all, sound financial management is crucial for a proper budget cycle, and by that to give substance to the budget rights of the Parliament. The CFT would like to emphasize that financial management is the responsibility of all ministers and not only the responsibility of the Minister of Finance. I come now to the budget cycle. Speaking of the budget cycle, I will elaborate on some issues. The budget deficit for 2018 is reduced from 197 million guilders to 144 million guilders. For 2019, Sint Maarten expects a deficit on the public expenditure account of 88 million guilders. This brings the total budgeted deficit for 2017 till 2019 to almost 300 million guilders. Given that the 2019 budget will not comply with the standards of the Kingdom Law on financial supervision, Sint Maarten has requested the Kingdom Council to deviate from the budget norm, and especially from the balanced budget norm, for the year 2019. The basis for this are the extraordinary events caused by the Hurricane Irma, and in the law this is Article 25. In the budget we see that further cost-saving measures should be taken in 2019 in order to keep the deficit as limited as possible. We noted a sharp increase in expenditures in the financial recovery plan compared to the years 2015, 2016 and 2017. So we saw the expenditure in 2019 to be precise. The CFT has advised to keep the expenditure on the historical level. On the income side, realizing the budgeted income for 2019 and onwards will be very dependent on the success of realizing the compliance measures as laid down in the financial recovery plan I just mentioned. Let me also make some remarks about liquidity support. Sint Maarten needs liquidity support for the years 2018 and 2019 due to the deficits in the budget. The Kingdom Council has decided twice to provide liquidity support for 2017 and 2018. As earlier mentioned, this will lead to an increase of the debt to GDP ratio. Moreover, the financing of the new hospital and the needs to improve the detention center can also lead to an increase of the debt to GDP ratio. The CFT will monitor the development of the ratio given the importance of not having an unsustainable level. In light of the current request for a second installment of the liquidity support for this year, it was advised that the government take its own steps towards sustainable finance. Examples here are the cost-cutting measures indicated by the government, such as the amendment of the pension legislation and the reduction of the salaries of ministers and members of parliament. It is of utmost importance that the pension legislation will pass the parliament before January 1st, but also the effectiveness of measures to increase compliance. Everybody in St. Maarten must pay their fair share on taxes. I come now to the 2015 instruction. As you probably will know, there was an instruction by the Kingdom Council in 2015. The deadline for complying with this binding instruction, which was given by the Kingdom Council of Ministers in 2015, is approaching. St. Maarten has to report to the Kingdom Council on the progress of the instruction and make a new proposal for compliance with the instruction. For the items in the instruction that will not be resolved by the end of the year, it's reasonable for St. Maarten to request a new deadline. This includes the payment of the arrears and the restructuring of the healthcare system. I come to the healthcare system later on. The CFT will give an advice to the Kingdom Council on the achieved progress with this instruction. With respect to the healthcare system, during this visit, the CFT has some discussion with the Ministry of VSA regarding the restructuring of the healthcare system and the need of controlling the related healthcare expenses. As the sustainability of the healthcare system will be an issue also in an aging society, we urge to restructure the system, but also to take some efficiency measures in the short run.
You can win with the Caribbean Lottery. You can win, making a difference, changing lives. Take a chance, and you can win with the Caribbean Lottery. You can win, you can win.
The Phillipsburg Methodist Church proudly presents the Harmonics in Concert under the theme Praising in Harmony. This exciting concert takes place on Saturday, November 3rd at 7:30 p.m. at the Princess Port de Plaisance Pavilion. Guest artists that will be sharing the stage are Don Froston, Angie Ponteflet, Cecil Griffith, Karen Cadogan, Raymond Benjamin, Benjamin Bell, and Shaba, along with the Djembe Group. Come out, support, and be blessed by the Harmonics in Concert on Saturday, November 3rd. Proceeds of the concert will go towards the upgrading of the audio-video system of the Phillipsburg Methodist Church.
Connecting you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
I'm honored to have this opportunity to address you today, and I would like to thank the government of St. Martin for organizing the Caribbean OCT's Resilience Summit and for bringing us together, and to thank EU, European Commission, and in particular DEFCO, and each OCT for their confidence and the constructive exchange we have the last few months to launch the 11th EDF program 1 year after the Irma and Maria hurricanes. The old studies and the recent IPCC report provide growing evidence of adverse impact on key socioeconomic activities and sectors that determine quality of life, including water availability, agriculture, food production, health, natural resources, and biodiversity and tourism. The cumulative impact is jeopardizing the attainment of regional development goals and will eventually slow the growth of Caribbean economies down. For all these reasons, ladies and gentlemen, I strongly believe that our generation, especially the leaders and policymakers, have the responsibility not only to react to such challenge, but also to anticipate them. Thus, we need a paradigm shift toward a more sustainable development planning approach in highly vulnerable regions, and it is no clearer than ever that we can only address climate change collectively. This summit, Unite, Prepare and Adapt, could not have been better named. And this is exactly with the upcoming 11th CDF regional program, Resilience, Sustainable Energy and Marine Biodiversity, is such an important milestone. It is a beacon of regional engagement, and it forms a new opportunity to kickstart concrete multi-country action in an open and constructive manner. I will give you some few information on the program, which will be set up the next 5 years. As you see, it's as you know, it's a 40 million euro. So around 37 million euro will be managed by Expertise France, 3 million by the World Bank for CRIF, and 0.3 million will be for the audit and evaluation that the Prime Minister expect for 2023 with, we hope so, a positive conclusion. The stakeholders, you are all there. It's the 12 Caribbean OCTs, and it's clear that if we are doing this, it's for the final beneficiary, which are the citizens, which are facing big issues with the climate change. The objective of the action have been defined collectively, and in particular with all the OCTs. And it's clear that the objective is to strengthen environmentally sustainable economic development in the Caribbean OCTs. You develop the key objective, and as the Prime Minister said, it's no three main objectives. The first one is to increase energy efficiency of infrastructure with high impact on energy consumption, which will be for an around amount of 10% of the budget. And the two other main components will be the improved protection and sustainable management of OCT's marine biodiversity for around 45%. And as it was said, we decide to include, during the last Bonaire summit by end of 2017, to include the resilience of Caribbean OCTs to adapt to extreme and recurrent natural events, and it's also for 45%, which is a major part of the program. Expertise France carried out a first pre-identification mission starting from May this year and visit all the Caribbean OCTs. Among the different findings, three main conclusions specifically emerged from the interview. Common challenges were cited from all OCTs, and we can say desertification, drought, invasive species, urban planning and housing, food resilience, integrated coastal zone management. We spoke about you need this today. It's clear that you have a common view on the main issues you have to face. Most cities need to get updated data and consistent baseline to be able to describe and analyze precisely their ecosystem vulnerability to climate change in order to explore scenarios to determine potential effects of planning decision and also to mobilize climate finance to fund adaptation plans.
You can win with the Caribbean lottery. You can win, making a difference, changing lives. Take a chance, take a chance, and you can win with the Caribbean lottery. You can win, you can win.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Wib now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Windward Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Every 1st of August, as long as this appraisal system is not in place, you have to get an automatic increment in the form of a trader or a step down in your salary scale. Now, we have 3 different categories of teachers that has to be observed. We have the teacher C, which is one that is less sonorous, person that is just coming into the system. The teacher B, that has a certain amount of years of service and years of experience, and the teacher A, that should be the most sonorous. Basically, once the teachers now, no matter what category you're in, once they reach 2, step 20, you are being frozen. This frozen means that you're stuck on 20 of that scale instead of rolling over, which the difference between rolling a person over to the next scale with upgrading, let's say if I'm teacher C, then you upgrade me to teacher B. You're allowed to use any internal system, but by using that and I become from C to B, I go over, it is just an increase of like 3.20%. So it is nothing that you would say that would have such a big impact on the budgets, but it will have an impact later if you don't do that on the teacher themselves, because they have not been getting increase. They have not been getting the steps, increase. They have not been getting the cost of living adjustment. So what do you have consequently? Consequently, we are preparing a next group that has an income probably of 4,000, but we are structurally preparing them to also be on the poverty line. Okay, so that is worrisome, and therefore we are very happy that the KOR is up and running and would be functioning, and we are happy with the change of the LVO, the law, where it's a consensus has to be reached, and basically the consensus would also have to be put into, it gives us the possibility as union to do the collective bargaining in the public service now. So collective bargaining was only something of the private sector. Now it gives us the possibility of also having that in the public service. So in saying that, those are some of the issues that I wanted to bring to the forefront with our members at heart. The last issue is pertaining to the vacation schedule. Of course, in a meeting with the minister, we got the vacation schedules for the coming 3 years. So school year 2019, 2020, 2021, and 21-22 for us as unions to provide our comments. We, of course, we are thankful and grateful for this, because in the previous years, this was not the case. They probably only send it to school boards, and if the school board don't react after 2-3 times, it becomes a normal vacation schedule. But we have seen that vacation schedules, especially when we had Hurricane Irma, a law was prepared by Minister then, Sylvia Jacobs, to amend the schedule and to take away, at that time, the midterm break of October so that school could start back, and then given days in December and somewhere later down that it was possible. We are now experiencing, for example, that one school board requested for the December break, this year's December break. So the vacation schedule is already out for this year vacation break, for there to be some adjustments and for the teachers to come back in on January the 8th instead of January the 2nd. Now, as a union, it was brought to our attention by teachers not working with the Favis School Board, with the School Board for St. Martin Academy and the St. Martin Academy PSVE, but other school boards, and they were saying logically that sounds like a better proposal, so that basically you find New Year's Day in St. Martin traditionally is a family affair, and which incorporates all the children and everybody, the whole family. It's a celebration, and when you have to get up the next day and wake your students up, you have a lot of absenteeism on that first week from the students because they're not feeling well, they're tired, and etc. The logic behind starting back on the 2nd of January 2019 we cannot see it. But we have also requested, since there is one school board that is being granted to, let's do it across the board. Yes, it was granted to the FAVE school board, which is St. Martin Academy teachers and the PSU.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Chief of Police did ask for the Dutch police officers to stay on. It was an official request sent to Holland for them to stay on until the force is strong.
We have an agreement that the Dutch assistant will stay on until 2019. Should the St. Martin decide, I'm not sure exactly which month in 2019, I'll get back to you on that one, but should St. Martin decide to move on to 2020 with the Dutch assistance, then we would be financially responsible for that, and that decision has not been taken as yet.